Hello there, it's Ebird Online and I'm back with another review. And today we're going to be picking over what remains of the relationship between Brittany and Yazan. And so first, very quickly, I'll run over what happened last week with this star-crossed couple. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and a massive thank you to everyone who's subscribed thus far. Also, if you enjoy the video, please don't forget to smash the like button. So first up, in a galaxy far, far away, we see Yazan. And as we remember, he's got a brand new career as a taxi driver. He tells us once more he's lost his family. Don't worry, Yazan, I know where to find them. And as he drives in his taxi on his own, I can't help but think the point of a taxi is to try and get some passengers. Remember, Yazan, Brittany wants a shopping spree and a yacht. And if we had $1 for every time Yazan tells us I've lost everything, he'd have every single cent he needs for that yacht. So as Yazan's worrying so much about his family, he goes to see his brother at the family garage. He tells his brother of his woes and he asks his brother to speak to his dad on his behalf. He wants his brother to explain how much he loves Brittany and how all the rumours about Brittany are untrue. And Yazan said he wants his father to believe in him and to stand by him, and his brother agrees wholeheartedly. Let's hope he keeps the same energy when he goes to speak to dad. Next up, the meeting. And when we see his dad, he looks as if he's aged 5 years in 5 months. He looks as if he hasn't slept since the 1980s. And Yazan's brother begins by trying to put Yazan's story forward, and he asks his dad to show mercy on him. But his dad, quick as a flash, brings out his smartphone and he shows the bikini shot of Brittany. You know, that bootylicious one by the pool. And his dad says, "This is a big deal for us." Yazan's dad, "It's quite a big deal for us too. And some girls pay $8,000 to achieve said big deal." And his dad goes on to say, "Uncle Yusuf said that she acts in racy movies." And I'd be very interested to see Uncle Yusuf's internet search history. And I wonder how much research he needed to do to find someone who he thought was Brittany. And it's hard and tedious work, but I guess someone's got to do it. Night after night, trawling these tawdry sites. He's taking one for the team. All together now, poor Uncle Yusuf. Representatives for Uncle Yusuf tell us research is ongoing. And his dad says people are talking about us. Yes, me for one. You're on 90 Day Fiancé, don't you know? And then he dropped a bomb. He said, "Tell Yazan if he wants to marry her that your father will kill you." And his brother said, "Dad, no." And he said, "I swear, tell Yazan if he doesn't reconsider, I will be his murderer." And guys, I didn't know what to make of this. Obviously, we've all heard about honour killings in Muslim societies. So I really don't know if it was a figure of speech like "I'll kill you" or if he was actually serious. I gotta tell you, he looked kind of serious. But either way, it's an awful thing to say. And back at the garage, Yazan's brother reports back to him, and it seems his mind has been changed. He told Yazan, even though you've asked her to stop, she's still posting racy Instagram photos. And Yazan says, well, even though he doesn't like it, he has to come to some sort of compromise with Brittany, as they are both sacrificing on different things. And it's good to hear that Yazan actually realises now that Brittany is sacrificing on some things. And his brother said, I tell you, leave her now. You haven't seen the look on her dad's face. But he says he'll be your murderer. So guys, this storyline obviously is very disturbing and it's very unfortunate for this couple. But Yazan's family are very, very conservative. And obviously family, friends and neighbours are all talking about Yazan and Brittany. And according to the dad, it's bringing shame to their family. And unfortunately for Yazan, it seems as if the support of his brother has waned somewhat. And he's now urging him, just finish with this girl, forget about it and move on with your life. So next up we go to Brittany. And Brittany tells us now she's going to Jordan, but it's going to be a girls' trip. What? Yep, instead of bringing her dad with her to meet Yazan's family and to get married, she's now bringing her friend Angela. And she further says she doesn't want to see Yazan at all. As far as she's concerned, Yazan and she are done. And guys, this just tells me the childishness of Brittany. Because every time they have an argument or a disagreement, she says, that's it, we're finished, we're done, I hate him. And she doesn't seem to be able to realise that well-worn pattern that everybody knows. Somebody pees you off. You stay angry for a minute, you hate them, you think there's no way back. And then a couple of hours later, you realise you love them after all. So it's best not to make any big declarations of the relationship being finished in the meantime, because you know where you'll end up, with a healthy dollop of egg on your face. She doesn't seem to have grasped that basic concept of relationships. And it's as if Brittany says to herself, if we can just keep this conversation unreasonable, ridiculous, petty and trifling, I'll be able to slam the phone down on you at some point in the next 30 seconds. And guys, it really does seem to me as if that's what Brittany wants every time she speaks to Yazan. And next time we see Brittany, she's packing to go back to Jordan. And her dad's sitting at the table watching her, still grinning. and she tells her dad that she can't be herself in Jordan. And her dad's main source of irritation is the fact that Yazan doesn't protect her, and he recalls the time when Brittany called him up in tears because the family were having a go at her and Yazan failed to stand up for her, and he wants the kind of man that's going to have Brittany's back. He tells producers she called me crying inconsolably, but she tells her dad things are moving in the right direction because he and his family are separated. And her dad said, "What do you mean separated?" And she said, "Well, he's moved out and he's got his own business, he's doing his own thing." And her dad said, "What's caused that separation?" She said he grew up and decided to be his own man. What? Brittany, do you listen to Yazan at all? Yazan told you, and I heard it because he told you on the phone, that he was thrown out. Yazan explained to you that he'd been homeless, allegedly, for a couple of days. He'd stayed at his uncle's and now he's had to rent his own apartment and find a brand new job. So he didn't just decide to get out, he was thrown out. And guys, tell me what you think, but it seems that we know and understand more about this relationship than both Brittany and Yazan put together. And her dad says, "Is it worth going back to Jordan?" "Of course it is. TLC are paying her, of course, Dad." And Brittany said, "I want to work things out." And her dad said, "If you don't feel good about it, come straight back." And as she gets into the taxi, Max the dog is there to see her off. And the truth be told, Max looks the most sorry out of everybody to see her go. So she gets into her taxi, and on the way she gets a message from Yazan. I wonder what it is. Perhaps he's telling her he loves her. Perhaps he's saying, "I can't wait to see you." Nope, none of that. He's telling her that he's managed to crash the car. What car? The car he bought apparently to increase her standing with her friends. And so what actually happened was he was texting Brittany and she was ignoring him. They'd of course previously been arguing. And whilst he was driving around the city looking for clients, he managed to crash this car, and he sent photos of every angle of the crash to Brittany. The truth be told, he'd be quite a good Instagram photographer. Just saying. And Yazan tries to convince us he only bought this taxi for Brittany. And so the fact that it's crashed is entirely her fault. And guys, I had to rewind this about 4 times to listen to it to make sure I'd actually got the right end of the stick. And unfortunately, I had. Yazan is saying he only bought an expensive car because of Brittany. He's crashed it and now it's going to cost him $1,000 to fix. And this is Brittany's fault. Now, if you'd have said it's Brittany's fault because I was beside myself because I couldn't speak to you, or you kept putting the phone down, or you were ignoring me, it would of course be utter horse shit, but I'd more be able to understand the argument. But his actual point is, I would never have had this car if not for you. I had it so you could brag to your friends and increase your social standing. Therefore, it's your fault. Yazan, even if you'd have been driving around a $250 jalopy around the city, you would still have crashed. So where's the difference? Why are you texting Brittany to blame her? So this, in my opinion, is where Yazan has gone wrong. But what's that old adage? 2 wrongs don't make a right. Next up, Brittany. Brittany responds, "So what? What does that have to do with me? Why blame me?" Brittany, the least you could have said is, "Oh my God, are you injured? Are you hurt? Are you okay?" And it seemed that she wasn't worried at all how he was. She was only concerned in saying, "It's nothing to do with me." And guys, this is what makes me say she doesn't have any real love for Yazan, because the first thing you'd say, even to a friend, never mind your fiancé, if they'd had a car crash is, "Oh my God, are you okay?" And so she calls him immediately and he says, "You're selfish, you only think of yourself." And she tells him, "No, you're selfish." "You're selfish?" "No, you're selfish." Oh Lord, these two are absolute kids. And she tells him, "This car wasn't for me, this car was all for you. What have you done for me?" Not what have you done for yourself, what have you done for me? Brittany, he's trying to earn money so he can rent a nice apartment and have a nice life for both of you. So in reality, the nice car is kind of for you. The taxi business and the barber business is kind of for you as well. Let's be real. And so Brittany boards her flight. And on her flight she said, "As far as I'm concerned, we're done. And this is going to be a girls' trip. And we're going to turn it up. In Jordan, Brittany." Good luck with that. So finally, Brittany arrives at the airport. And she can't see Yazan anywhere. And Yazan arrives at the airport. But he can't see Brittany anywhere. Label me bored. Both of these guys are there with a sound man, a boom and a full camera crew, but neither one, allegedly, can see the other one. Oh please, drop me out, this storyline is ridiculous. And so Brittany goes to get in a taxi, and at the last minute Yazan sees her, but he doesn't manage to stop her taxi. Guys, both of you have got phones, why didn't you phone each other? Because you're both utterly stubborn. And the following day we see Brittany in the hotel and she's waiting for her friend Angela to get into town. And Brittany tells us she and Angela are going to enjoy all that Jordan has to offer. And as they sit in the hotel room, they wax lyrical about Yazan. And Angela tells production, we're very, very close, we're like sisters. Angela, the Ebird would like to know, are you the older sister? If so, can you go upside Brittany's head please? She needs to have a little sense knocked into her. It's okay if you're sisters. And Brittany tells Angela of their latest argument and she says we're done. But guys, I really like Angela, she talks a lot of sense. Angela's the friend that Brittany is very lucky to have. Angela's the friend that without knowing the other party sits back and looks at things objectively, and she doesn't stroke Brittany's ego. She tells her what she needs to know. And Angela says maybe Yazan is going through something. Maybe that's why he's behaving as he is. And Brittany said, well, maybe you're right, maybe he is. But that's not my problem. Angela said as quick as a flash, oh yes it is, of course it's your problem. If he's your fiancé and you're together, it's both of your problem. And the fact that Brittany's got to the age that she's got without realising this, if you're in a relationship, all problems are both your problems, tells me that Brittany isn't ready to get married for a second time. It also tells me that she probably hasn't graduated primary school. And I just think that Brittany has a thought process which is always going to be difficult to get around. I think Angela thinks like I do, a problem shared is a problem halved. Brittany thinks a problem shared is a problem doubled. She don't want to hear about it. And Brittany FaceTimes Yazan once more and they argue yet again. Angela said this is hard to hear. I want to talk to him tomorrow. I'm not coming all the way to Jordan without meeting him. And so the following day, the two girls hit the market. As they're getting ready, Angela said to Brittany, are you going to wear something to cover your boobs? And Brittany says, yeah, my jacket. Brittany, if your friend has to ask, you can imagine there might well be a problem. And I noted that Angela made sure that she was properly covered up and she had kind of a high neck top on. And as the two girls walked through the market, everybody was staring at them. So to be fair, I've had this an awful lot when I've been travelling around the world. I remember being in China about 20 years ago and literally every single place I went, every single day, everybody stared at me. And I gotta tell you, it does get quite irritating in the end. And because it's so irritating and triggering, you do what you can to minimise the staring. What's Brittany done? She's wearing a tight top which is quite low and tight jeans. And the coat she was using to cover things up is open. And Angela said, oh my god, everybody's staring. Do people in Jordan stare as much when you wear your hijab? Or is it different? And Brittany said, well, they always stare obviously because we're black. And even with my hijab on, people still stare because I'm so shapely. And you guys, Beyonce could walk through a mosque and get less looks. And then somebody looks over at Brittany and says, it's a sin. Quick as ever, Brittany says, no, you're the sin. But credit where credit's due, props to Brittany. Because she's learned enough of the language and she's learned the disses and she can pop back at people immediately. Kenny, take note. And so after they've finished walking around the market, they decide to go for a drink. And as they walk past a cafe, they notice someone's drinking beer and they say, let's go in here. So the Ebird's assuming, okay, it's legal to drink a beer. But they walk into the bar and guess what they order? Rum. What? So it's entirely legal in Jordan. And you guys, I used to do my homework quite thoroughly, but the Ebird has been left wanting on this because I genuinely assumed that hard liquor was illegal in Jordan because of the hoo-ha that Yazan created at the airport when Brittany brought out her bottle of Patron. So all of Yazan's big noise was quite ridiculous because, as it turns out, it's legal. Now, looking into it, it's only legal to drink alcohol on licensed premises. But Brittany wasn't trying to drink the Patron at the airport, she was just showing him what she bought. Yazan was on your side, but now I'm side-eyeing you. And slap wrists for the Ebird for not checking on this before reporting. And so the two girls sit down to drink the rum. And Angela quizzes Brittany about their relationship. And Brittany says, I'm frustrated with Yazan, but I guess I could be more 1, supportive and 2, patient. Brittany, keep going. Nope, that's it, she stopped. Okay, the Ebird will take up the slack. 3, understanding. 4, flexible. 5, realistic. 6, less explosive. I could go on, but you get the idea. And Brittany says she really misses him, and she says, I need to settle down. I'm not expecting him to be perfect, but building a life together is serious. And Angela said, well, you should tell him that. He probably doesn't know how you're feeling. You've never even told me that you think like this. This is growth. And Brittany calls Yazan from the bar. But it's not a good idea. She calls to say I miss you, but she's 3 sheets to the wind. And Brittany says, Angela said that I should call you. She still can't admit she wanted to call him herself. And then he said, I have a lot of words for you. Oh dear, that doesn't sound too good. And then he says, I'm coming to pick you up. And immediately Angela is worried because Brittany is blind drunk. Angela said maybe he should slow down the drinking, but that just makes Brittany, child that she is, speed up, and she drinks her drink down in one. And Angela thinks they're heading for disaster when Yazan sees just how drunk Brittany is. And that's where we leave these guys for this week. And as per usual guys, it's a complete mess. Brittany doesn't know if she wants to be in the relationship or not, and seemingly neither does Yazan. So what does the Ebird think? I think they need a head count of the number of people in the relationship with an eye on reducing the number by 1. Brittany's busy getting drunk on rum and she says she's not sure if she wants to be with Yazan or not. Yeah, Brittany, just drink more. That will clarify things. And so I think it's fair to say that these two only ever argue, they never actually discuss things properly. If the story's to be believed, I feel very sorry for Yazan that his dad has such feelings towards him and that his dad is so anti this relationship. But if Yazan really wants Brittany, I guess he has to just make a break from his family. After all, he did know that his family were very conservative, and he must have known after meeting Brittany and seeing her online that his dad wasn't going to be having a bar of it. And his last ally, his brother, seems to have departed over to the other side. It seems that nobody in his family is in favour of Brittany. And on the other side, Brittany wavers in and out of the relationship as she's always done. I don't think Brittany's in it for the right reasons. But if she is, she's got an amazing friend in Angela, because Angela is managing to break down the problems and try and work out one by one what they are and how they should be tackled. And guys, Angela's managing to do more than mum, dad and older sister all on her own. And Brittany says of Yazan, he'll never find someone like me again. Well, yeah, Brittany, that's no bad thing. And on Yazan's side, obviously he's been kicked out. He could have imagined that that was going to happen when he rocked up with someone like Brittany. But Yazan's got a very, very short temper and is very quick to blame everything he can on Brittany. And it's interesting to me that he blamed getting kicked out on Brittany, but not on his family who actually did the kicking out. And it's always going to be really difficult for this relationship to flourish if Yazan has it in his mind, I've sacrificed everything for you, rather than my parents made it impossible for us to be together and I've chosen you. So guys, I really want to know what you think. Please put your comments down below and I'll be back very soon with another video. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Just press that red button and make Ebird a very happy Ebird. And please also don't forget to press like. It really does help me with my analytics. So thank you so much for listening. You've been listening to Ebird Online. Ciao for now.